Over the course of several decades, there has been many scientific discoveries, each just as important as the other. There were 3 discoveries in the 1950s that were no exceptions. We had the organ transplant, the discovery of the polio vaccine, and the discovery of the structure of DNA. In 1954, after much research, the first organ transplant was performed. The first organ to be transplanted was the kidney, and it was actually done between 2 twins. The doctor that performed the procedure was Joseph E. Murray, and he actually did this procedure without the use of immunosuppressants. Immunosuppressants are drugs that help to weaken the immune system of the recipient so that the body doesn't reject the organ. It worked so well without this drug because the recipient and the donor were twins. So the donor organ was very much like the recipient's old organ, so the body didn't reject it. Another scientific discovery in the 1950s was the development of the polio vaccine. Polio is a disease of the nervous system, and it can affect multiple things, one being the muscles. It weakens the muscles, which can make your legs look skinny. It also eventually can cause paralysis. So in 1953, a man named Jonas Salk developed the vaccine. Actually, a year before his development, almost 3,000 people died from polio. So I'd imagine that is why the vaccine came the very next year. And this vaccine had a huge impact on the public, and by 1957, so in the same decade, the amount of cases of polio dropped significantly. In addition to scientific discoveries, 2 men named James Watson and Francis Crick developed the structure of DNA. This, of course, had a huge impact on genetics. The 2 men developed this structure using past information from other scientists before them that they had discovered other things about DNA, and used cardboard cutouts and kind of worked the cutouts like a puzzle. Eventually, they came up with this double helix structure. And you might be saying, why is this important? This is important because it helps to allow the DNA to be packed into tight chromosomes. And it is also, the structure is a very stable structure, so it's super hard for DNA to be destroyed. And this, of course, was important furthermore for science, after them, because it helped other scientists put together other things about DNA and help make more discoveries in the world of genetics. All in all, every scientific discovery changes society in a huge way, and of course is very important. The ones in the 1950s were obviously no exception. The first organ transplant, the polio vaccine, and the discovery of the structure of DNA changed the science world. And though the 1950s were just a decade, it's safe to say that they had a huge impact on science and on even could be in our lives today.